I recently completed an expedition to Antarctica on the National Geographic Resolution. This video is about the ship and ship experience. For information on the excursions, see my Antarctic expedition videos part 1 and 2. I have left links in the description below. This video will cover the ship layout, stateroom design, food and dining, and overall experience on board the ship. Let's get started. First, let's start with the ship itself. National Geographic's marketing materials describe the Resolution ship as a fully stabilized vessel of the highest ice class. This means that the ship can go where other ships cannot because of its speed and ice-breaking capabilities. And we definitely went where other ships did not. The ship has a patented X-bow, which is an innovative design that gives it a smoother ride than other ships. This is advantageous, particularly when navigating the rocky Drake Passage. Whereas other ships smack down on the waves, the X-bow design allows the ship to roll through the waves. I can testify that the ride did feel smooth and quiet. You could still feel the waves, but it felt like we rolled gently through them. Now let's explore the ship. The first 2 decks contain the equipment for running the ship. We were actually offered the opportunity to visit the below decks and see the inner workings of the ship. The engineering was quite extraordinary. Deck 3 is the expedition deck, or base camp. This is where we would leave the ship by Zodiac boats. There is an open locker for each room, so you can leave your boots and other excursion gear there. They divided us into smaller groups of about 20 people and called each group to the base camp one after the other. The ship only had 113 passengers, so we generally had everyone deployed in about 30 to 40 minutes. We would put 8 to 10 passengers on each Zodiac, which loaded very fast. This is another advantage of the Resolution ship. Since it is a small ship with limited passengers, everyone can go on excursions at the same time. Other larger ships have to schedule the passengers because Antarctica only allows 100 passengers on land at any given time. Deck 4 consisted of 17 staterooms and the doctor's office. The staterooms on this level have windows but no balcony. Deck 5 had staterooms including my solo cabin with balcony. I'll show you the inside of my stateroom later in this video. Deck 5 also housed the main dining room called 270. The dining room wrapped around the galley kitchen so that every table had beautiful views. There was also a balcony off the back where passengers frequently jumped up from their tables and hustled outside in order to take pictures of the beauty passing by. Deck 6 had more staterooms and the ice lounge. This is where the passengers met for briefings, informational sessions, happy hour, as well as for just relaxing and getting some coffee or refreshments. There was a self-serve station as well as a bar. Oh, and there's also a small gift shop on this level. Deck 7 housed larger staterooms. The bridge was on this level, and passengers were allowed to enter at any time to watch the navigation. Our captain was incredibly gregarious and loved to engage with the passengers. Whenever there was a whale sighting or special landscape, you could find a mass of passengers gathering there. I thought it was a great place for a good viewpoint and to gather information. It also allowed you to stay sheltered from the cold, but step outside to the bows deck and take some photos. The fitness studio takes up the aft part of Deck 7 and has ample space for the number of passengers. Often I was the only one in there. It had all the equipment I needed. Deck 8, the observation deck, has no staterooms, so is full of space for the passengers to meander. Let's start with the back of the boat, where there is a yoga studio with a semicircle of windows that offer beautiful views from the back of the ship. If you step outside here, there are 2 infinity-edged jacuzzis as well as igloos. Yes, igloos. Passengers could sign up to spend the night in one, and they were fully booked. They would give you 3 water bottles to keep you warm because they were not heated. I didn't want to test it, but people who did said it was a great experience. Connected to the yoga studio is the sanctuary, where there are massage rooms and 2 saunas. There is also a quiet room for sitting and relaxing. Moving forward on the ship is Tupaya's restaurant, which was a more casual dining experience. There's a self-serve refreshment corner on this level too. In the center is the science hub, which I thought was for people to use the computers, but nothing seemed to work. Then there is the cook's nook, which I'll explain more about later. There is the library and observation lounge that offer a great place to enjoy the expansive views. And you can also step outside here to a wraparound deck, which was used often for photography. So that is the basic ship layout. Let's now take a look at the solo cabin stateroom. When I arrived, a staff member escorted me to my room. It was room 511. Once inside, we found our luggage, our parka, and any gear we had rented. I rented the boots, which came in this blue bag. As you can see, the bed hugged the wall. I didn't have a problem with it, but some passengers complained that it made the bed feel even smaller. I did notice that as we went through the Drake Passage, we rocked head to toe rather than side to side, making it a bit more difficult to sleep. There is a chair at the foot of the bed. The balcony is actually rather large for a small cabin. I use this balcony frequently for photography, although I never really just sat there. I would quickly take a picture and then run back inside to stay warm. The other side of the room had a desk, mounted TV, a tablet that you could remove from the wall and carry it around with you, although I never used the tablet. Instead, I just turned on the TV to get the latest itinerary and schedule. They supplied you with a nice water bottle that you could use on the excursion so that you didn't have to use and discard plastics. There were also some electrical outlets with both universal plugs and USB outlets. My United States plug fit in the socket but kept falling out, so I used the European adapter that I bought for Santiago, and that seemed to work better. The desk had a few drawers and a lift-up compartment with a makeup mirror. However, I used it to store my electronics. The bathroom was very well designed with lots of shelf space, and the shower was wonderful with both a rain head and a shower wand with lots of water pressure. They provided bath wash, shampoo, conditioner, and there was a bench to sit on if you needed it. They provided a little amenity kit with a few things like loofah and soap. And there was a magnifying mirror built into the mirror, which I really appreciated. Towels were replenished daily. And there was a little hidden trash can in one of the shelves that made it a nice, secure place for a ship. Oh, they also provided a blow dryer. The wall of closets was impressive. There were 4 cabinets, each secured with special tap-in knobs. The first one had a shelf, a safe big enough for a laptop, a supplied robe, 3 drawers, and a pull-out shelf for your shoes. The second cabinet had a high shelf, mini fridge with selections of soda, wine, and beer. There was an ice bucket, 3 more drawers, and a pull-out shoe shelf. The third cabinet had a high shelf and closet space. However, there was a pull-down shelf if you wanted more shelf space. And the fourth cabinet pretty much mirrored the third, except that it housed the life preserver. Next to the bathroom was a thermostat to control the room temperature and a volume knob for the intercom speakers. You were also required to put your key card in the slot for the lights in the room to go on. There were 4 hooks in the hallway that were used all the time to hang your gear. By the bed, there was a reading light, more electrical outlets, and switches to operate the lights from your bed. So that's it. I found the room to be well designed and slept quite comfortably with the blackout curtains. If this room didn't have a balcony, it might have felt small, but for one person it supplied all that I needed. Now let's talk about the food and dining experience, which was exceptional. I have dietary restrictions and expected to tolerate limited choices. However, the chef catered to everyone's dietary needs. There were vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, and dairy-free options on all menus. Usually you could order just about anything on the menu and have it made according to your needs. And the food tasted wonderful. Everyone especially liked the robust soups that were especially fabulous after a cold excursion. The main dining room offered a buffet-style breakfast with made-to-order eggs. For lunch and dinner, there was a menu with several entree options. If you didn't want to eat a large meal, you could go to Tapaya's on the observation deck. In the morning, it served lighter fare such as yogurt, chia, fruits, and juice. For lunch and dinner, it had a slimmed-down menu with more casual fare. There were a few special food events during the trip. One night they had a Filipino buffet that was scrumptious. One evening when the weather was sunny, they had a barbecue buffet with a special dessert stand of donuts. It was glorious to eat outside and take in the spectacular scenery. The best food experience, though, was the chef's table. Each passenger was invited once to dine at the table and enjoy a special tasting menu. It was a thoughtful presentation and the food was really delicious. I'd rate it as one of my best food moments, especially because you were eating in such a divine setting with icebergs passing by. Now I need to mention the exceptional service. The ratio of passengers to staff was about 1-to-1, and everyone on staff was very friendly and went out of their way to accommodate any requests. The wait staff seemed to anticipate your needs. The housekeeping was also very attentive. Now let's talk about the naturalists and photographers. They were all highly accomplished professionals that were able to expertly convey their knowledge of photography, history, wildlife, and Antarctica, often in a fun and uplifting fashion. There were numerous informational sessions throughout the voyage, and I found all of them to be clear in presentation and concise in delivery. All of the sessions were to the point, so no meandering or boring slideshows. The topics were interesting and generally presented in short 15-minute segments. One night, the staff stepped into different characters from Antarctic history to illustrate the history in a fun and imaginative fashion. Now, if you're looking for a ship that has nightly entertainment, this is not it. However, on the last night in the Drake Passage, the crew all showed their hidden talents and performed for us. It was fun to see the staff let their hair down and everyone had a great time. Of course, as an expedition should be, the voyage highlights were the excursions. Remember to look for my other videos that go into detail on the excursions. The overall trip was beyond my best expectations. To summarize, there was great service, wonderful food, comfortable accommodations, fabulous excursions, and meaningful learning. This all came together in a brilliant trip that I will find difficult to top. And if you'd like to follow more of my senior and solo travel journeys, please click subscribe below. Cheers!